A seriously dangerous idea has been spreading online, as some people are saying, look, we don't follow hadith, we only follow the Qur'an. So let's talk about this. This is to educate, clarify this important issue, and sincerely advise for the sake of Allah Almighty. Recently came across this discussion online, and honestly I'm absolutely shocked by some of the content. But again, this is not about targeting any particular people here, but let's discuss the subject matter at hand. So let's stop and think for a moment. If a person truly follows the Qur'an, then shouldn't they follow what the Qur'an itself commands? The Qur'an doesn't just command us to obey Allah. It repeatedly commands us to obey the Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. As Allah Almighty says, مَنْ يُطِعِ الرَّسُولَ فَقَدْ أَطَاعَ اللَّهِ. Whoever obeys the Messenger has obeyed Allah. Surah An-Nisa verse 80. Furthermore, Allah Almighty says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. O you who believe, obey Allah and obey the Messenger and those in authority among you. Surah An-Nisa verse 59. So notice something really important here. Allah Almighty didn't simply say, obey Allah. He specifically said and mentioned, and obey the Messenger. Furthermore, Allah Almighty also says, وَمَا آتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُ. And whatever the Messenger gives you, take it, and whatever he forbids you from, then refrain from it. Surah Al-Hashr verse 7. And furthermore, Allah Almighty says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. Indeed, you have in the Messenger of Allah a splendid example. Surah Al-Ahzab verse 21. So now ask yourself, seriously, how could Allah Almighty command us to obey the Messenger, take what he gives us, refrain from what he forbids, take him as our example, and warn us against opposing his command, if we were only meant to follow the Qur'an while ignoring his teachings? Here's another question. The Qur'an commands us to establish Salah, but where does it tell us how many rakats for each Salah? Where does it explain the detailed rulings of Zakah, or the detailed rulings of Hajj, or the detailed conditions and rights of marriage, the detailed rulings of fasting? The answer is simple. The Qur'an lays down the foundations. The Sunnah explains them and shows us how to implement them. Allah Almighty says, بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَالزُّبُرِ وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الذِّكْرَ لِتُبَيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ مَا نُزِّلَ إِلَيْهِمْ وَلَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. So the important bit here, and we have sent down to you the reminder so that you may explain to the people what has been revealed to them. لِتُبَيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ, so that you may explain to the people. So the Prophet ﷺ wasn't only sent to convey the Holy Qur'an, he was sent to teach it, explain it, and to demonstrate how it is to be lived. So the Sunnah is the practical example and the practical explanation of the Qur'an.